I met Suzanne years ago when she was darting from presentation to presentation at an AONE meeting and stopped me and said, "Who are you? I need you to publish what you just presented." And this was how Suzanne worked. She always was there as a resource and as an encouraging leader. How she has elevated the field has been extraordinary over the past 30 years. The journal now reflects, of course, changes in practice, but Suzanne's standards were simply higher, and that has made a difference in our profession. It's made a difference in AONE, and it's made a difference in the field of nursing administration.
Suzanne worked for Walter School of Health, Lippincott, Williams & Wilkins for more than 25 years as the editor of JONA and Nurse Educator. And she was the first nursing journal editor I ever worked with, which was a huge step in my own professional development and a great step in her own mentorship of newbie publishers, authors, and editors. A mark of Suzanne's scholarship is how early her journals, JONA, the Journal of Nursing Administration, and Nurse Educator, were recognized by the Journal Citation Report and included in their index for coverage. This was a huge achievement because at the time, very few nursing publications were ever included in JCR. And hers were recognized for their scholarship, their research, and their citability. Her goals were to advance nursing literature, to advance nursing leadership, and to advance the science of nursing. Suzanne mentored a whole new generation of publishers. I knew very little about journal publishing when I started, and poor Suzanne was tasked with bringing me along. She was our go-to person for pilots, projects, and reality checks. One thing many of you may not know about Suzanne is that she was a founding member of the International Academy of Nursing Editors, the aptly named inane organization, or as they referred to it, the non-organized organization. At the time it was created, there was no other organization for nurse editors like inane. And this organization continues very successfully to this day.
During her 30-year career as a nursing editor, Suzanne processed over 11,000 manuscripts. And in her kind but direct way of providing feedback to writing teams, Suzanne said she always worked to preserve the hope of the authors. In her long career, she was a staff nurse, a grant project coordinator, a nursing educator, and the editor of 2 peer-reviewed nursing journals, and a nurse leader. Suzanne's passion for nurses was intrinsic. She served as the past president of the Florida Organization of Nurse Executives and as the past president of the National Sigma Theta Tau Foundation Board. She was always interested in new evidence and insights in administrative practice, and she valued her friends and long-standing, well-renowned nursing researchers, but she also valued the novice researchers. She role modeled the competencies of a great leader. She was a mentor to all, and she served with authentic leadership, and she actively supported succession planning, as she did as evidenced as she transitioned JONA to me at the time of her retirement. I can tell you that there were many evenings when Suzanne and I had to have an emergency phone call or a glass of wine together, just so that she could coach me through a stumbling block as a new editor.
Whether LOL actually means laugh out loud, lots of love, lots of learning, or lots of leadership, I always looked forward to Suzanne's LOL messages. From the first time I met Suzanne at an AONE meeting in the early 90s, I was in awe of the impact that she had on everyone around her. And I knew that I had lots to learn from her. Suzanne always gave willingly, expecting only that others aspired to that same greatness. Working along Suzanne for 20 years plus as a marketer, publisher, manager, and friend was a privilege and a learning experience. I'm pleased to see my most recent search for LOL yields LOL as League of Legends. What an appropriate way for Suzanne to be remembered. We'll continue to miss the LOL messages, but are pleased to see that Suzanne received the AONE Lifetime Achievement Award. AONE meant so much to Suzanne, and it's a wonderful place to recognize and remember her leadership and all that she gave to all of us.